Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Sean Daniel from the Better Days Ray podcast. Today, got good friend Tyler Valentine.
Hi, buddies.
What's up, Tyler? Man, so how long you been in recovery, Tyler?
Oh, let's see. June 14th will be 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
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 How's it feeling on you?
Dude, this is the crazy thing about this is it's like a constant cycle, and it's like I love growing as a person in sobriety now because at first it was difficult because like I had to change my entire life. Plus, after the car wreck and everything, just everything was crazy. But now that I'm, working stable, every day has its blessings, every day has its lessons for sure.
Right.
But I'm learning. I feel like on this journey, I'm learning at a pretty quick pace of how to manage those things. And by no means am I perfect at it. Good God, I'm not. But I've learned how to start giving myself a little bit more slack, a little bit more grace.
Give yourself some grace.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of the times I just beat the crap out of myself all the time because I guess it's just a backlash of maybe guilt from lost time or bad decisions or whatever it was. But I think that I should be evolving at this fucking rapid rate. I feel like I should be evolving super quick. And some days I have to realize that like patience is the true teacher and that like I'm not going to change all these things in me that I want to change overnight because I'm impatient as hell.
Well, I've kind of learned, I was at a meeting earlier and we were talking about goals, right? And how you start your goals off small, right? Yeah. Um, as we were talking, and I've kind of been contemplating this for a long time. We sit there, and a lot of times we'll walk into a room, and we'll talk about this extreme faith in God.
Yeah.
But then have no faith in ourselves.
Yeah, it's a struggle.
And as my spiritual walk grows, like I'm learning, like your faith in God should match your work ethic and what you're trying to do, right? So if I was truly faithful to God and believe that God put me here to do great things, right? And if I embody that, right? Okay, so if God wants me to do great things, he put something before me to do something great with it, right? My faith matches that. My work ethic should match my faith, and I will achieve that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times when people fall off from their goals, you know what I'm saying? Like I was asking them, like, well, how deep is your faith with God? They're like, bro, I'm faithful. Are you? Are you? Because if God put you here to do great, he put it in front of you to do something with it. So rock with it and dive all into it. Where people fall apart is they got this high, huge goal, but they don't want the responsibilities that come with it.
Yeah.
And then even worse than that, they don't want the sacrifice to come with it. They don't want to sacrifice their downtime or their spare time, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or things that they're doing that aren't necessarily producing fruit. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
That's that addictive mind. Like we have an addiction. We want to spend all that time on stuff that don't produce anything. Because stuff that does produce, that means I got to work for it.
Well, and then like with me, it's like we were talking about it earlier. Like, people are like, I'm going to manifest a good day or I'm going to manifest this and stuff. And then like there's a common misconception with that like the universe or God's just going to drop something in your lap.
No,
you have to put yourself in the position to receive whatever blessings that, the universe and God and the creator is going to bestow upon you.
That mindset.
I mean, you can't just keep your chess pieces on one end of the board and expect to win the game. You're going to have to move some stuff around and put yourself in a position to where you can move forward. And for me, I have a problem with that all the time because I'm so used to beating myself up so much that I realize that like I'm beating myself in my own arm and nobody has a higher expectation about me than me.
Right.
And that's just something that I constantly have to deal with on a daily basis. And I just know that's how my brain works. But, through, the program, through AA and sobriety and having just good people around me, I realize that I don't have to take it all alone. And that's really hard for me to admit that I need help. because I've always been the one that helped, or at least I always thought I was the one helping, and really it was more enabling, especially the people around me while I was drinking and drugs and all that. But for me, it takes a very conscious act the first date. Like when I wake up in the morning, I have to set boundaries with myself. And setting boundaries is one of the hardest things for me to do. Because for so long I let people go over the boundaries just so people would like me or people love me or they wouldn't run away
Right, right.
or they would stay off my ass about all
Yeah.
my problems. And now I realize that if I wake up in the morning and I set one boundary with myself, like first off in the day, like even something as simple as get out of bed now. Like we're not gonna scroll on our phone. No, our feet are hitting the ground. And like for me, like first 10 minutes in the morning is the most painful of my day. Because that's when this has been chilling all day
Yeah,
or all
right,
night,
right,
and
right.
now I have to wake it
I
up.
feel you.
And it's like my
Stiff.
dude, it's just as my leg is just as grumpy as my dog in the morning. Neither one of them want to wake up. And so for me to set a boundary with myself and in turn, it's really taught me how to set boundaries with other people where I wasn't able to, or I was too fearful to set a boundary with other people. Now it's a lot easier. But the problem with that is I'm an addict and an alcoholic, like, so excuses for me are really dangerous.
You're right,
And
right.
so I could easily go down a slippery slope as to putting up too many boundaries and just sequestering myself and cutting myself off and not helping and not giving back because I'm protecting my peace, or am I just not wanting to deal with anything else? And that's a dangerous slope for me. But I mean, at the end of the day, like you were saying, like if you want to get a goal, God's not going to drop something right in your lap just because you want it. That's not how it works. Like you have to work for what you want. Like just because, we get sober and we're on a spiritual journey. I mean, like if you're expecting an attaboy every 5 seconds for
Yeah.
like
That affirmation.
dude, and that was a real hard thing for me to be truly honest, was everyone was so proud of you in the beginning of your sobriety, especially like me,
Yeah.
being laid up on the couch, and everyone in my life who knew what I put myself through and what I was coming out of, like all those pats on the ass and all those pats and all those affirmations of I'm doing a good job. And then now we're almost 2 years sober, and those things aren't as as frequent as they were. And for a person like me, I'm like, well, where's my attaboys?
Right.
And
right.
that's a
Where's my flowers at, bro?
that's
Where
a
my
character
flowers?
defect that I have, is that I'm always seeking somebody else's approval. And as of late, in the last 6 months, I've learned that the only approval I really need is my own and my creators. And the best way I know how to make both of those people happy is to keep to a schedule, keep my boundaries where they need to be at, and don't let myself overindulge in excuses.
Bro, I can tell you something funny about God, right? So 2 years ago, I had my aha moment where, sitting in jail, and I got down and I was just like, God, how do I save myself? I didn't ask him like, how do I get out of jail, or you know what I mean, like, how am I going to be free? Like I literally was like, how do I save myself from being this rotten person that I am, right? And he gave me 3 instructions, right? He said, build your house the way you want to build it, be the difference in everything you do, and be proactive. Be proactive. You're 40 years old, Sean. Get after it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, okay, cool. I got it. Right. So I get out of jail. We started the podcast, started doing other things like writing the program, writing my book, doing other things. And then everything kind of stalled out. Right. And I'm like, God, what's up, man? Like, I did everything you told me to do. Like, what's going on? He was like, voice came back to me. You know what I'm saying? Or that little voice in the back of your head says, make yourself undeniable. All right. Get back into school. I'm doing more things. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to do events last summer and, doing some like public speaking and really helping out in the community. Still not seeing the results I want. I'm getting there, but it's not where I want to be. And I'm like, all right, God, like I'm doing all this and I see it. Like I see what you're telling me, but like, how do I get down? And again, came back. He said, double down. So about 3 months ago, I'm like, all right, I'm doubling down on everything I do. We're going from 1 podcast a week to 2 podcasts a week. We're doing this, we're doing that. I started Sean's Keys to the Game, which I post at 5 a.m. every morning. So everybody gets their little recovery motivation. And Funny. So about 2, 3 weeks ago, I'm like, all right, God, like I'm doing everything you tell me to do, man. What's up? Like, speak plainly. And I swear, it's like 3 a.m. I just woke up. I'm sitting down with my coffee. I'm sitting in front of my computer and I'm asking God, like, come on, man, just be plain with me. What do I need to do? I swear, there's a voice in the back of my head said, boy, you stupid. Let me break it down for you. Do more. Like, just simply do more. If you want to achieve where you want to be, you know, if you want to achieve the greatness that I put you here, you're going to have to work your ass off to get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And you're 40 years old. So you're going to have to make up time and then cut some time off. So you really got to get after it and quit messing around. But it's just weird because over this 2-year period, the message never changed, right? He worded it different, but it never changed. Be proactive. Make yourself undeniable. Double down. Do more. So now when me and my wife go to church and, usually the pastor will say, and all God's children would say, and you say, amen, amen. Me and my wife say, do more. All God's children should say, do more.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
like that.
And but it makes absolute sense. You know what I'm saying? If you want to achieve your goals, then you have to sacrifice the time. You have to sacrifice some of the comforts in life.
I mean, and then that's it. And then, and a lot of times when people get into, say they get that job promotion or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're all like, oh, all right, we're on the other side of the fence, grass is greener over here. And then they realize the grass is just as brown over here,
right.
If not browner than it was.
You don't want these problems, bro.
I was like,
yeah.
And it's one of those things, it's like, you have to be comfortable in being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a management position or anything like that where you have people under you. You have to be uncomfortable being comfortable because, there's times where, when things are going too good in the kitchen, I start going looking for something, and I know it sounds weird and it's very defeatist, but if it's just a perfect day, I try my best not to go looking for something, but eventually I'll walk in that cooler and I'll find something. I'm like, there it is.
There it is.
And then I'd said this in the rooms I think it was a couple weeks ago, and I was like, if you're always waiting for the other shoe to drop, look at your feet. Maybe you need a pair. And so that's the way I've been kind of going about it as of late. I was like, because I always have, especially in my position, there's 10,000 chainsaws up in the air, and I got to keep chucking them back up so they don't fall on anybody, And then I have to realize if a chainsaw falls and nobody dies, that's not an excuse to let the chainsaw sit on the ground. We got to pick it back up and throw it back up there.
Yeah.
And, but the hardest thing for me to do, just in my position at work in general, is I forget how many people are actually looking at me at all times. And I forget that I have a real quick knee-jerk reaction sometimes to things, and it's not usually the best reaction sometimes. And that's where I let myself go on autopilot, and I'm not checking myself.
Especially when the front-end manager knocks over all the food into the line.
Oh, dude. For those of y'all don't know, the other day, a travesty happened in the middle of a busy brunch shift. And our new front of house manager, God bless her soul, she was trying to help. And I was like, hey, grab a stack of white plates, put it on top of the expo line so I have plates. I don't know if you know how gravity works. Does not give a crap about what plans you had.
I watched the whole thing happen in slow motion, dude.
And that's all you can do.
It was just no.
You want to know a real good time to learn that you're not in control of a damn thing was that moment right there. While I was watching plates drop and break and everything in the steam well. So now everything in the steam well we have to trash and remake. And that's that steam well sitting with at least $400 worth of shit in it at all times. And so, I'm not going to catch these plates.
Recovery went straight out the window.
Dude, straight hit the ground. Bro. And to be honest, I was in more control of myself, and I was actually slightly proud of myself for not going off the way I really wanted to in my heart of hearts. But by the look on her face, I know if I would have gone off the way a chef would have gone off, I would have made this poor girl cry. And she doesn't deserve that.
Yeah.
But I didn't deserve to have to refill the entire steam well in the middle of a brunch rush. But here we are.
Here we are.
And now I'm down 15 white plates. And those are the plates I use the most for brunch.
Right.
So now we're going to have to get creative with plateware. But that's also one of those moments where you're like, serenity to accept crap I can't change.
Right.
It's all over the floor. One of my cooks had just clocked in. She's like, I'll get it right quick. And I was like, will you please? Because if one more thing hits this ground, I don't know what my next reaction might be, dude.
I'm gonna freak out.
I was like, if I hear one more plate hit the ground. And it was as if the universe was listening, because it wasn't 10 seconds later, I hear someone break a glass out front. I'm like, I'm going outside for a second just to recompose
I thought
myself.
it was like we're like halfway through the shift. I go up to him, I'm like, bro, what time you get off? He's like 10 o'clock. And then I clock out at 3:30. He's already outside waiting for his Uber. He's like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah. I'm out for the
Cashed.
day. Well, my two Sues were like, dude, we'll handle this tonight. I was like, we ain't got crap on the books. And I'm like, thanks, man. I was like, because I don't know if I could handle another plate hitting the floor today. And that's just one of those things. Is those are the days that I know I really have to look at the lesson. Because, like, I said it today. I was like,
You got to look at that as a win, bro.
Yeah.
Right? In addiction and a high stress, like, bro, I'm leaving. Like, y'all clean this up, I'm gone. I'm out.
and like, it's crazy because, like, 2 years ago, something like that would have been happening. I would have been like, God, I can't wait to get to Spotted Pony so I can just slam a whole bottle of Rumplemints and forget this day ever happened.
Right.
But we don't have that luxury anymore.
Right.
And so now it's like I have to sit with myself in silence and be like, where did we mess up? This is where we go to step 4. This is where we go to step 11. This is where we go to. There's 4 steps to deal with this one problem right now. And I beat myself up all the time going home because I'm like, I did not react the way I should have in this situation. I didn't react this way. I was too emotional in this situation. And my ride home from work is usually me trying to stop myself from beating myself up. I
feel it, bro.
And
the hardest thing to do is let God just take control of that stuff.
Yeah, and
you know what I mean? Like, and here's the thing, like, as an addict, you're a control freak already. Like, we already, like, super control freak. And so when we come out of that, releasing that control
it's hard.
It's hard, but it's uncomfortable, right? To give somebody else the reins or let God have the reins and not have control of it. And, one thing I'm really blessed for is getting up at 3-4 o'clock in the morning now. Like, I started that about a month ago.
It's fun to beat the day at its own game,
man. I'm tell you what.
That's how I feel about it. If I'm up and I'm out of the shower before the sun's up, I'm like, beat you. Ha! Got you, universe. 1 me, 0 you.
Bro, if you struggle spiritually, like, start waking up when there's no noise. Or like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, right? Because that's what I've kind of been doing. I've been getting up early, listening to my devotionals as I'm making videos and posting all my content to all the different platforms. I start super early. But, man, it's like you can have full-blown conversations with God when there ain't cars driving by and dogs in your face.
You're not trying to...
All this craziness, right? You can actually feel the spirit easier.
And one of my things is, and I learned this through therapy, actually, is that, like, I'm a real bad control freak, especially when it comes to emotion.
Oh, yeah.
Just growing up the way I did, I didn't know what emotion was coming at me at whatever day. And so I would always try to set systems in place with my like I have a problem with trying to regulate everyone's emotion in a room, and I do it like subconsciously at times.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can get me, like if someone else is in a bad mood, if I'm not watching myself, I'll get in a bad mood. Like I'm like an emotional chameleon, and it has to be doing something with being having an empathic nature, which later on finding out through therapy and stuff is like the reason why I have so much empathy naturally, probably already, but a lot of it was a survival technique as a kid. It was as soon as I walked into a room, I had to clock everybody's emotion real quick to see if I was safe.
Yeah,
it was a survival technique for me. And with the people that were around me when I was a kid, and all the crazy things that happened around me as a child, like I was constantly on guard because I didn't know what was going to happen that day. My whole life was in flux a lot of the time for a while until I went to Boys Ranch. And so it was, I'm a master at walking into a room and clocking everybody's emotions within the first half a second. I can literally walk into a room and tell you what emotion everybody's in about 99.9% of the time.
That's that energy.
And it's like I clock it, and it's a childhood survival tactic from, is that person going to hit me today? Am I going to piss that person off today?
Right.
And then that's also where it comes into play where I have that people pleaser bull crap.
Yeah.
which is like I'm always worried about everybody else's emotions, but I never give a crap about my own. And that's, I think, having that problem was gasoline on the fire that got me into drinking and drugs, was because once I was drinking and doing coke and partying every night, I didn't care about control because obviously there was none. So who gave a crap anymore?
I
And like it was the only thing to keep my brain from beating me up.
and I think you said it earlier. It's about boundaries, right?
Yeah.
Like when we first come into, I mean, even seasoned people in recovery, right? We have these what we call soft boundaries, where it's like sometimes there's a boundary there, sometimes there's
Yeah,
not.
yeah. It's
You
like
know,
it's like a gate.
or it
Like you can
depends who
open the
it
gate or you can
is.
lock it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um, and I think the reason that is because that self worth is super low. You know,
Yeah,
but as
for
you
sure.
progress through recovery, like as my recovery, I'm gonna say, just speaking for me, as my recovery has progressed and my self worth has grown, those soft boundaries are now non-negotiable.
Yeah.
Like I just don't negotiate on them, right? Because I realize my self worth today.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've achieved some things, I've done some things to where now I'm not so willing to break myself in order to make other people happy.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'll do what I can, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna stress myself out no more to the point I'm freaking out, or you know what I mean?
And I have that, dude. There's
Because
times.
people will treat you exactly how you allow them to,
Yeah.
right? And just understanding that concept alone, that says like you have to have some non-negotiable boundaries, right? Same way with our addictions, like I have a non-negotiable boundary with heroin, alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
methamphetamine. Like I just not even on a. If it's just one hit, one puff, one drink, not gonna do it. So I'll continue to make excuses, right? It's the same way with people, and I'm starting to learn that about people.
Mm-hmm.
Man, if you let somebody walk all over you, now if somebody made an honest mistake once or twice, cool. If somebody needs a blessing every now and then, cool. But when it comes to the point of they're just taking advantage of the situation, or you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
then cool. And they have to understand, like you have to understand that, bro, it's not a slug I'm shooting at you when I say no,
Yeah.
right? I'm not shooting a slug, but I know my worth and I know my limits. You know
Yeah.
what I
And
mean?
it's like we were talking about it on the way here. It was like, you know, for me, having like my brain works in pictures and like I feel like setting up boundaries, it's like, we're always talking about tools in the rooms. We're always talking about rebuilding yourself.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, when you're rebuilding a house, you still got to think about the yard. And
yeah,
like your boundaries are that fence line. Like, and if you don't have a fence line, people are just going to walk by and throw trash in your yard all day. And, we hear this in the rooms like ego death of the ego. Well, your ego is going to be a part of you. You can't kill a part of you. Like, that's just, you're built like that. It's factory settings, man. Ego is a part of the human condition. And how you choose to use ego is how
right.
it's going to be perceived. And the way I was talking about it was, like boundaries are your fence and ego's the dog in your yard, keeping people from throwing shit in your yard,
Right.
throwing their trash in your yard. But the problem with ego is if you overfeed it, it's going to be fat and lazy and not do anything. Or you're going to starve it and it's going to be attacking everybody that tries to come near your yard. So the best way to do is just have a healthy ego, but also have enough of it to keep your yard, clear of trash, but not so much to where people are terrified to even come in your yard.
Yeah.
And that's the way I think about it. And ego for me is, man, it's a real dual-edged sword because a lot of my ego comes out in self-pity. A lot of people don't realize that. It's like self-pity is just ego dressed up in a different coat, man. That's all it is. It's like why aren't the good things happening for me? Woe is me. The world sucks. And then I call it. I have a voice in my head, and his name is Self Pity Perry. And that dude likes to walk up with lots of excuses, like a whole bag, just a money bag full of excuses that I can just take my pick out and use to beat myself up that day or feel sorry for me. And I still have a problem with that every day. Some days I catch myself. Sometimes I'm not even talking. It's Self Pity Perry. Just, woe is me. Ooh, my leg hurts. Ooh. Like, and I do it and I catch myself now because it annoys me. And that's like my trigger in my own head. I'm like, oh, this
Yeah.
isn't me. This is Perry. shut up. Like
I,
life could be a whole lot worse. You could not have a leg. You could have died in the car wreck. You could have gone straight back to drinking and doing drugs. Like, or you could just shut up, be in the present, and enjoy what is here and now.
well, you said it, right? It's a distraction.
Yeah.
Self-pity is an absolute distraction. If you just can stay focused on the goal, keep moving towards the goal, and quit letting what you don't have yet interfere with the goal, like I'm not gonna lie and say I don't go into those modes, right? Because sometimes something happens and I'm like, bro,
Like, what did I do?
am I a punching bag or what?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've been in recovery like forever now.
Did I like step on your favorite Beetle or something today?
Dude,
What happened?
And sometimes when you double down on life will come right back and double down back on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's like, and what I've come to realize is like the closer you get to achieving your goal, the harder the devil's going to try to keep you getting to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so it's like always since I've been in recovery, like when I was in addiction, things would go bad and boy, the devil would win every time. I'm out, jumping ship, going to get high. You know what I'm saying? Like plain and simple.
Yeah.
Like everybody leave me alone. I am on a focused mission to go get drugs.
It's so easy for me to walk into a liquor store, grab a bottle of Rumplements, and say,
Bro,
like, I don't care about the world anymore.
Like, when that self-pity kicks in, but like, if you can manage to just hold out, what I realized in recovery, right, is things get really hard, but it seems like every time I'm at my breaking point, every single time I'm at my breaking point, if I just hold on for just a little bit longer, just a little bit where I would normally go left, if I just hold on and keep going straight, something good happens. Like God said, you know what? You held on. Good job.
Nice.
You did what I needed you to do.
And
I needed you to just discipline yourself a little bit to stay focused on what I need you to do. This is what I need you to do.
And the thing with me is I have to remind myself that all of these things in me that I want to change, I'm just, like, I have no patience for myself. I have patience for 95% of the things in the world.
Yeah.
Myself is not one of them. And that's something that I've been working on, which is getting to the root cause of that problem has probably been one of the longest stretches of like intrapersonal fixing that I've had to get to. Is like, why is it so easy for me to beat myself up? And, you know, AA for me is amazing because not only does it help me keep my alcoholism in check, but it's like group therapy, man. Yeah. And a lot of the time, we're not even talking about the reason why we drank. A lot of times, we're talking about the reason why we started drinking in the first place. You know, because in the book, it says our alcoholism was but a symptom.
Well, and recovery is universal.
Yeah. And
you can apply recovery concepts to anything in your life.
Yeah.
Your marriage, your job. I mean, you can apply recovery to anything.
And it makes me feel better at the end of the day, even like, you know, Easter wasn't my greatest moment. I had to. And that is one of those things is where like I got there at 6:15 in the morning. I'm like, I'm going to get all this stuff set up, get my truck order in. Everything's ready. All my, you know, I've got me and my 2 Sues are on the line. There's no way we're going to fail today. And God was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Watch this.
Yeah.
And that was something that like, and I apologize, and I'll, if they listen to it, I apologize to Albert and Rory about that whole debacle on Sunday, man. Cause I beat the crap out of myself that whole way home.
Yeah.
From that Sunday. I beat my crap out of myself. And then right after that, I have a stroke. And then like, I'm sitting there like self-pity Perry has got, man, he had a bullhorn in my head. He's like, you're allowed to feel sad and everything for you. And then like, it's one of those days where like I was met with a lot of opposition, a lot of challenges, a lot of things that happened that I had no control over. And I really had to sit there that Easter night, I had to sit there by myself in my room with like my meditation music in the back. And I really had to just shut up. I had to shut everything off. I mean, when I say shut everything off, that means no dog in my room. No, I had to wait till everybody was asleep at 1 a.m. I really had to dig with myself and my higher power. I had to pull the shovel out that night because I was like, first off, I had to get past the everything is my fault part. because that's exactly where I go to. Because the everything is my fault part goes into the self pity part, and then I have to dig through the self pity part, and then I have to dig into the all right, what are we going to take responsibility for, and what were we out of control of part. That's that part, and then we have to get into the serenity part, and that is a lot of layers to get through just to get to the point of I was out of control, things happened, we'll try to do better. It is a lot of digging to get to a little nugget of gold.
Well, I really don't think you were out of control in that situation. Like, you had a brief moment where it got pretty loud. I'm sure everybody in the restaurant heard it, but it was very brief. But all in all,
Yeah.
you didn't like freak out. You were like,
Well,
all
and
right,
see, and that's
take everything down, reload the line, and let's get back to work.
yeah.
So-
And that's the thing with me is
Kudos.
like if you would have met me 2 years ago, it would have been the exact opposite. I would have lost my shit. I would have cussed somebody out.
Yeah.
I would have thrown another plate. I wouldn't have
Right.
given a shit. But now I have tools to stop myself before I get to that old version of me.
Bro, I'll tell you. So I had a self-pity moment last week. It was Friday, right? I've had some things come up in my near future that I have to pay for, so I've been having to go out and look for extra work.
Yeah.
So I go to this temp agency, and they're like, well, the only thing we have today is at the Canyon landfill. I'm like, cool, I'll take it. He's like, can you go right now? Yep, I can go right now. So I go out to the Canyon landfill. Bro, when I tell you, and I was so miserable. Like, so I get out there, right? And I'm like halfway okay, because I'm thinking they watch these safety videos where it makes it look like you're like on an assembly line type thing where all the trash comes through and you're like picking off the recyclable stuff and throwing it in a bin. That's not what they had me doing. I show up, they hand me 2 trash bags, and they're like, climb up on that trash hill, and all the stuff you see flying around, start picking it up and putting it in a trash bag. Right? And this is after it's been ran over 1,000 times. So it's like little bitty debris. So I start walking around out there and I'm picking stuff up and I'm like, dude, this is pointless. Like, I am picking up trash in a landfill. Like, this is never going to end. Like, this is
There's
never.
gotta be,
you know what I
there's
mean?
gotta be a meaning behind
Like,
that
this
somewhere.
isn't the most redundant job I have ever been to. Like, so I'm like, I'm not doing this. So I'm going to go back to the shop and grab a rake. So I go back to grab a rake in the parts shop, right? I go back there and the big boss is back there and I grab the rake. He says, put that down. I said, well, I'm grabbing it so I can like actually clean off an area. He said, no, you pick that up with your hands. You can't use our tools. Like, bro, and I'm telling you, I got that FU mentality. Like, bro, I almost lost it. I was like, okay, Sean, keep it cool. You need the money. So I go back out there and I'm picking up trash. And when I tell you, I worked like 6 hours that day. When I left there, like, I felt like I genuinely needed to go get an STD test.
I mean,
You know what I mean? Like,
it
like,
would have been the most worst thing.
like
you
I
could
had
have
so
done.
much booty in my mouth, it was ridiculous. Like, it was horrible. And I get home and I see my face and it's solid black, right? And I stink to high heaven. And my wife's just looking at me and she's like, will you go to Whataburger and get something to eat? I'm like, no.
Do you want me touching your food right
No,
now?
I will not. And so I get in the shower and I shower off and I get out and I still look like I'm in a Halloween costume. Look at myself in the mirror and it's still just caked. It's so caked. And of course, Saturday morning, I got to be at the restaurant. So I'm like, I got to get this stuff off my face. It was horrible, bro. Like, absolutely horrible. And I did. I was a whole pity party. Laid on my wife. I'm like, feel sorry for me because I feel sorry for me. And, like, it was a whole thing. And safe to say, I didn't go back. Like, I went up there this morning and I was really cordial and nice to the lady, I was
Yeah.
like, can I please have my check?
Yeah,
And
just
she
go
looked
ahead
at-
and give that one to me.
She's like, are you going back out there? And I was like, I will not be going back out.
It's like, no, madam.
No, not
I
for
will not frequent this place again.
Yeah, no, bro, it was crazy, dude. Because, like, man, in my addict mind, like, I'd have left, but I finished the shift. I was proud of myself that I finished the shift. But, yeah, it was a little much.
I remember I went.
I was like, I went to college for this. This is what I went to college for. Like, I got 2 classes away from graduation, and this is what I get to look forward to.
I do those temp agencies you're talking about. I did a temp agency. I think I was like 19 or 20. And they sent me out to this place called Cooper, Kraus, and Hines. like out there by Affiliated. It's like a steel plant or whatever.
Yeah.
So like my first job is super easy. They're like, look at this dumb long-haired kid
Yeah.
coming in smelling like weed, obviously stoned. And I'm like, what am I gonna do on my first day, boss? They're like, yeah, you're just gonna paint the washers on the inside of this one part. I'm like, cool. So we're there for a couple weeks. They eventually, like, my buddy Blaine's way more mechanically inclined than I am. I'm not great with machines.
Right.
And so they put him on a machine, and I'm kind of jealous. I'm like, look at him over there. All he's got to do is push buttons and stuff. That looks like fun. And then so eventually my silver tongue, I talked the boss into getting me a machine, right? Bro, first day on that machine, he was like, off. Just get off it. I think I broke like 3 screws, and each one of them cost like $100 or $800 a piece or something on this machine because I didn't know how to time the buttons. I think it was like the third one I broke. He was just like, I could hear him from the back. He's like, off, Valentine, just get off of it. And I was all like, I just need a couple more times. He's like, you ain't getting a couple more times. Get back in the cage. And there was the cage with all the parts that I was literally just washing, like washing washers.
Right. All right, so brought your guitar today.
I did. So
let's talk about what was your music like in Addiction versus what it's like now. Because I heard you play. And bro, believe it or not, man, Mr. Valentine over here got some vocals.
I got some pipes, man. To be honest, for a long time in my addiction, like early on in my alcohol addiction, I picked up my guitar a lot because I thought of it as a muse kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then the later end of my addiction, I think I almost went a year without picking up a guitar. And,
so it's safe to say it was incomplete.
Yeah, it really was
like an incomplete.
I'm finding myself more as a musician now than any other time in my life. And it's crazy. I'm a better guitar player now than I've ever been. And that the first thing, because like when I got in the car wreck, I had a rod in this arm. And that rod, I mean, you can see it like came from here all the way into my finger. So, and that was in there for 3 months until they took it out. And there was a real big question of whether I was ever going to be able to play guitar again.
Right.
And, you know, the ass inside my head was like, screw you, watch this. First thing I started learning how to do is play guitar. One of the most painful things I've ever done with my hand in my life was relearn how to play guitar. And now, almost 2 years later, I'm a better guitar player now. I'm a worlds better of a guitar player than I ever was. And it was because, like, when I sit down with intent.
Yeah.
And a lot through alcoholism and addiction, a lot of it was I was pulling a guitar out to probably impress somebody.
Oh yeah, it was always.
And it was never for an artistic relief. I mean, I wouldn't say never, but it was rarely for artistic relief. It was more for ego, and it was more for that cute girl thinks I'm kind of cute. I'm gonna make her think I'm more cute because I can play guitar. I was that dumb kid that would bring his guitar to parties. Not like later on, but like in my like 2021, I'd be like, I brought my guitar. You guys want to hear a cover of Simple Man? Like, you know. So, but now like music is, I make it for me. Like there's not this goal in my head that I'm going to become this awesome musician. Right now, it's just personal. And if I make a piece of music, and this is going to sound like kind of a douchey musician thing to say, because people who get paid millions of dollars to play music say this, but like literally the music that I'm making, I'm not really making it for anybody else. Like, and I know it sounds selfish, but it's the most selflessly selfish thing that I can do. Is like, these songs are for me to get through my own crap. Yeah. And if it means something to somebody else, then that's a bonus.
Well, it's called taking ownership.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just like, and it helps me get through my own crap. Cause I have 5 closets full of crap that I'm still trying to drag out.
So when somebody says take ownership, what do you immediately think? Something I did, right?
Yeah, usually.
It's always, oh God, I gotta.
It's just like, oh,
confess.
Yeah.
Here we
go.
go.
I don't remember doing that, but that sounds like a lot like drunk Val.
Right. But there's a whole flip side to that too.
Like, you met Val, you didn't meet Tyler.
If you take ownership in everything you do in life, right, you will care for it.
Yeah.
You will treat it better. You will go further, right? It's just like when I was a kid. I mean, like my dad took care of my basic needs, but if there was anything flashy I wanted, he was like, no, you better go get a job.
Mm-hmm.
You better go get a job, pay for it out your own. And I even had my grandfather got me a car one time, and Dad turned around, right back around and sold it. He was like, nope, you got a good job, do something. when you take ownership of something, you treat it better, right?
Mhm.
So you've taken ownership over your music, treat it better because for you.
And then like
It's the same way in our relationships.
yeah.
Everything you do, take ownership in it, you take care of it.
And the thing with music now for me, it's like I'm pulling music from a place that I didn't know existed, which is a place of honesty.
Yeah.
It's crazy because I mean, like when you're an addict and an alcoholic, when you're drinking and doing drugs every day, you're not honest about anything. If you can't be honest with yourself, you're not going to be honest about anything else. And for now, where I'm at in life, I'm being so brutally honest on myself. I have to tell myself to calm down
Right.
because that's where it goes back into beating my own head.
Yeah, I don't beat myself up over. I kind of made up my mind about, I don't know, probably about 8, 9 months ago. Like, you know what? I'm not letting people kick me over the head anymore about my past. Like, I dealt with that. Like, I put myself in a program. I went to treatment. I tried to make my amends. Whether you took it or not, it's on you.
Yeah, I
But,
mean, you
like,
can only give them the opportunity to forgive you, and if they don't, well, they don't.
you
That's
know,
their journey, you know.
but like people, I'm not gonna let people uh treat me like trash anymore. And again, it goes back to that whole self-worth thing,
Yeah.
right? When I didn't feel worthy of anything, you got away with it. You got away with treating me bad because I treated myself bad.
Well, and then
But now that I'm treating myself right, like
yeah.
you ain't about to just sit there and run me through the mud no more.
And that's one of those things is lately is like I have to set boundaries with work because I have a problem with a lot of my self-worth for a very long time. My only sense of self-worth
Yeah.
came from that I had a killer work ethic and that I was good at my job. Well, come to find out when I got sober, I was decent at my job, but I was never great at my job because I was always worried about getting out and going to the bar. Like I didn't care about what was in front of me at all. All I cared about was a carrot at the end of the stick every day. And the carrot at the end of the stick was a bottle of rum mints and a bag of cocaine, you know? Like that was my carrot. I mean, it's a heavier than a carrot, but I mean, way more expensive.
Even as I've progressed, bro, like I've even had to put up certain boundaries with AA. Like
And there's times where you have to do that.
there's certain. And I remember when I said this, and Miss Mary, she looked at me like, "Boy," you know what I'm saying? Like, what
She looks at everybody
you
like
know
that.
what I mean? Looked at me like I was crazy. And I'm like, yeah, there's some non-negotiable boundaries I have with AA.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not necessarily the AA program; it's people in AA, how they choose to use it,
Yeah.
right? Like I've seen people get super disrespectful in an AA room. I'm like, better not. Don't bring it my way, bro.
You better not. You better not.
You just like, we'll use that one-on-one room for real. You know, like better not get crazy with me in here.
Yeah.
You know, but no, I did. I had to put up some boundaries. Like I had when I came and decided I wanted to be of maximum service to people, I started joining like the group conscience, things like that. And every time I wanted to do something that I felt would have been a benefit to people, they're like, nope, you can't do that in AA. Nope, you can't do that with AA. So of course, that's kind of where the podcast thing stemmed from.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, how can I reach people that evidently AA doesn't want to reach? You know? And so I started moving outside those things. And then, of course, coming back into the rooms, they were like, bro, you can't be doing those things. Your name's not on it. My name's on it. You know what I mean? Like, if I know it's helping people, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, and then like that's the thing is like outside of that room, I mean, they have nothing to say. But you know, I love AA and it works for me.
No, I go every day.
But,
well, just about every day.
But the thing with AA, there's certain concepts that I'm not like. There's certain things that I don't fully subscribe to. But if other people and it's helping other people, then I'm not gonna dog it. But I mean, we're all going through our own. You know, God all gave us an etch-a-sketch, and we can all make our own.
Bro, there's
however the hell we want to do it. Like, there's so many different colors to paint your road to recovery. It doesn't have to be just the colors that Bill gives you in the book. There's other ways to recover, and like the AA is not the only way to stay sober. Like, I hate to say it, and people are gonna hate to hear that, but I know plenty of people that got sober without AA. I've known plenty of people to get sober without a program. Does that mean that's the wrong way? No. Because everybody's brains work differently. My brain works good with AA because it gives structure, where my ADHD creative brain isn't so great at doing things with structure.
You know, there's only one fact in recovery. There's only one cold hard fact.
And just stay sober.
One cold hard fact. Recovery works when you work it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only fact.
That's the last thing we say before we get out of work. It only
Like,
works if you work it, man.
That's it. It's the only fact about recovery because, like, what works for me may not work for you.
No.
What works for you may not work for me.
No.
So you'll always find people who will criticize someone's path if it's not their path.
No.
But there's tons of options.
Oh,
bro.
man, dude. I've seen
so many options.
There's so many different ways to recover from not just alcoholism and drug addiction, but there's people that deal with, eating disorders and, I mean, smoking cigarettes. I mean, granted, I smoke cigarettes, but, I mean, that's one of those habits that just I'm going to have to, I think eventually I'll outgrow it, but for now, it is what it is. Is it good for me? Hell no, I know that. Do I drink too many energy drinks? Probably.
Bro, absolutely.
Those are the two little addictions right now, and I'll admit it straight up, like nicotine and caffeine. I've really doubled down on those when I got sober, and it's because it kind of cushioned the blow a little bit.
I actually, when I put everything down, I put cigarettes down too, and I didn't start smoking again until I got into treatment.
Until you got back into an
I
AA
went into
room.
treatment, and of course, everybody in treatment smoking cigarettes.
Oh, dude.
So now I have a worse cigarette habit than I've ever had in my life because of treatment.
And that's what, dude, and it's like, I tell somebody, I was like, dude, it's like a yawn in AA, bro. Like, there could be nobody in the room smoking. One person lights up a cigarette. 30 seconds later, that whole room looks like something's on fire, bro.
Bro, it's crazy. Same way with coffee. First thing I get up in the morning, like, I will drink a pot of coffee before I ever walk out.
Oh yeah, dude, I'll have an energy drink in me before probably before I get in the shower.
Yep. I'll have a pot of coffee before I go to work, and then on the way to work, I'll pick up a Monster, drink it on the way.
And I've kind of noticed it with myself lately, as if I'm in a long shift, and it's been like 4, maybe 5 hours, and I haven't had any caffeine. I can hear myself start getting bitchy, but then I'll go pick up an energy drink, and then I take 4 or 5 sips, and I'm like, oh, it's all right. Yeah. And then in my head, I'm like, I know what this is. Oh, I know what this is really well right now.
Right.
I was like, oh, I know what this is.
Yep.
But I mean, I guess, in my head, I'd rationalize it because I'm on my feet all the time. And I was like, I need the energy. Eventually, hopefully, my goal is to one day be able to not have to have cigarettes and so much caffeine all the time. But I mean, for right now, this is the journey we're on for a minute.
All right, brother. We're about out of time, man.
Yeah, brother.
So, hey, real quick, what can we expect from Tyler Valentine? And shoot a shout out to your people, bro.
Shout out to Fork and Good Hospitality, and the Drunken Oyster, which is my restaurant. Shout out to Royce Peasy, Alberto Vargas, my boy Mike, my 3 big managers, my girl Angela. They run the Fork and Good Hospitality group, and they have a lot of faith in me to run a restaurant. Sometimes I question it, and then I realize it's because I care. But
ain't it crazy when somebody gives you a bunch of responsibility, knowing that you're like lifetime addict?
Yeah.
I know the first time it happened to me, I was like, does this cat know what he's doing?
Yeah. And music, actually, I'm about to start picking up on that a lot more. Right now, I've been kind of keeping it hush-hush because I kind of like doing my own thing, and then coming out with it. I like painting. I guess what I like to say is I like to paint a picture in a room nobody's looking in and then bring it out for everybody to see. So that's kind of how I am with music. But yeah, I've been just music, and we're about to change up the brunch menu at work. And so, yeah, things at the Drunken Oyster, we're about to start doing some more stuff. So come out and let us feed you, bro.
Man, well, like always, bro, it's always a blast to have you on my show, bro. And if you ever want to support the Better Days Reign mission, you can visit our Printify store. You can find it at the link below this video. We could use your help. We are also looking for silent sponsors who would be willing to sponsor our show. So that way we can expand our reach. I'm ready to take the podcast on the road. Like,
I think that'd be fun.
I want to go hit some big events. I want to, Dallas, Houston, Austin.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
For starters, and then, maybe a year down the road when we get enough money, start taking it out of state. Maybe do some stuff in California. Just kind of branch it out.
Yeah.
But that takes help to do something like that, because like none of this is free.
Yeah. Ain't nothing
it costs
free.
money to do it. So anything y'all can do to help out the mission, man, we'd be greatly appreciative. Be sure to follow us. Man, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Like,
yeah, get on that YouTube.
Even if you don't watch it, bro, subscribe to it.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube doesn't know.
Just show some love. You know what I mean? But yeah, other than that, man, y'all have a great weekend, man. And Tyler, again, fun to have you on the show like
Love
always.
you,
Man.
buddy. This is always fun.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one. We're out.